Senator King. Senator Rounds, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. In listening to your testimony today, and I've appreciated the amount of effort that you've put into being very clear with us, it seems to me that we have left a power void in Central Asia that has already increased the threat of terrorism and has provided significant opportunities to our adversaries. Secretary Austin, a little while ago you indicated that, and I believe your term was that if we would have had to have made an earlier withdrawal, perhaps in April or May, that it would have been very, very difficult to have had that completed in an orderly manner. And I think that's the way that you described it. Is that correct, sir?
That's correct, sir.
I think also, sir, you would probably agree that the withdrawal on the August 30th, August 31 deadline was probably not done in an orderly manner either, was it?
There are two issues here, Senator, if I may. First of all, you'll recall that we stated that General Miller planned for an orderly evacuation of people and retrograde of equipment. That plan was laid out, it was rehearsed, and it was executed so that by early July, all of the equipment that we wanted to retrograde had been retrograded, and most of the people were out, except for a small element that was in around the embassy and on HKIA.
Mr. Secretary, the American people watched with horror on TV during the last days in August, in which our young men and women in uniform not only died, but they were in the middle of huge throngs of individuals desperately trying to get out. I don't believe that you would suggest that that was being completed in an orderly manner.
No, so that's the second. The second operation was a non-combatant evacuation, which was, I think you heard me say early on, Senator, was we had some challenging times early on. We recovered from that and were able to.
But you would, Mr. Secretary, you would not consider that to have been done in an orderly manner, would you?
I would say overall we endured challenges, but again we were able to get out an enormous amount of people.
I don't disagree that the young men and women who wear the uniform of this country on that particular very challenging time period did everything they could, but clearly it was not in an orderly manner. They were in a very disastrous, and I think we would all agree, a very deadly situation. Would you agree, sir?
And you heard me say so, Senator, that it was a very dangerous situation that we're in, and despite that, they were able to fight through the challenges. And because of their heroic efforts, we were able to do what we did. So.
Mr. Secretary, the reason why I asked this is because I think not only American citizens saw this, but I think our allies saw it as well. And I think what they saw was, first of all, that because of the date certain rather than a conditions-based withdrawal, because of a decision that was made by our president, because of that, we left American citizens behind. And we did leave Afghans behind who had served directly with our U.S. forces. And it appears that many of them believe that we did not appropriately consult with them about our activities in a timely fashion. And finally, to look at and to see American equipment being left there, even if it's not quite ready for use, but most certainly there in the hands of the Taliban, did not help our position with our allies, sir. Let me just move on very quickly. General Milley, I've got just less than a minute left on this, and I just wanted to comment. I think your second statement in which you shared with the American people and with us today an expression of how in a very unclassified way, how the nuclear chain of command works. Part of this, and some of us have had the opportunity to observe in a tabletop exercise how that actually works with the processes working their way through with the president on down and the questions that are asked and the responses required and so forth. The 2022 NDAA has some very specific exercise requirements that the White House and other members are required to follow through. Do you know if either President Trump or President Biden had the opportunity to do a tabletop exercise and actually listen to the questions that were going to be asked of them, should there ever be the possibility of the use of nuclear weapons?
I do not know if either one, President Trump or President Biden, has gone through that tabletop exercise.
Thank you. Once again, thank you, gentlemen, for your service to our country.